Hi, everybody. I have a very special guest on today that I think you will love just as much as I do. Kylie Yang is a psychic medium, a soul reader, and a spiritual healer. She offers support around spiritual journeys, awakenings, releasing trauma. She does past life readings so people can live with more joy and pursue their purpose with enhanced clarity. In today's episode, we cover a range of topics from aliens to ancestors to human beings living with chronic illness, depression, or anxiety, and having spiritual awakenings, and what to do if you feel lost, what to do if you are ready to get to that next level of your soul's purpose. She helps people release soul attachments and teaches them how to connect with their spirit guides and also how to communicate with their souls. I had an overview reading with Kylie, and everything she said, the messages she received and shared with me were spot on. And I know this because it hit me in my heart and in my soul. It resonated deeply with me, and there was no denying how I felt. Since I've had that reading, I wake up every day knowing what it is that I really need to work on, what area of my life I want to improve, what blocks I need to remove. So, welcome to today's episode with Kylie Yang. Hi, Kylie.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank
Yeah.
you again for the reading. It was truly profound. It meant a lot to me. Um, and the way I feel about the reading you gave me was it is going to catapult me forward. So I feel like you gave me some really important nuggets that weren't easy to hear, but were very profound. So and then I don't wanna share everything, but I just wanna say, the first thing that you provided me with was that I need to forgive something in my past, right? I have to forgive the time, I have to accept it, and I have to let it go in order to move forward.
Yes.
The other thing you shared with me in my reading was to be more open to share my thoughts and emotions, which is really hard for me sometimes, even though I feel like I talk a lot. I am very protective and I don't like to be vulnerable in front of others. I'm not even comfortable being vulnerable with myself. But the whole message was don't let my insecurities of how I am perceived, don't let that hold me back any longer, and that is how I'm gonna grow.
Yes. Amazing.
So thank you so much for
Yeah.
that.
No problem at all.
Yeah, so can you share with our audience what your gifts are specifically?
In 2012, 2013, I had a spiritual awakening, and my first senses was by clairaudient. If you know your clairsenses, I'm very clairaudient. I heard a lot of my guides, and so they were really trying to get my notice of everything. So they told me I'm a medium, and I did not at that point. I'm raised very Lutheran, very really Christian based. And so I wasn't aware of this profound feeling, right? So um I didn't know how to accept it. My ex-husband at that time, when I was going through my spiritual awakening, and I started telling him, I hear this, I hear them talking to me, they're talking to me like this, like that, they're telling me that I should do this for other people. They tell me that I should go out there and heal people, and I'm like, what is it that I can do? And I never really understood, but now looking back, my gifts are I'm very clairaudient. I see visions. I see visions. I see images. I don't do a lot of dreams, but I have a connection with the loved ones that has passed away. I give messages to them too, and then so when I first started, I had a lot of souls coming through that wanted messages that was passed on. So I work with that kind of community, and then one of my gifts is to definitely remove attachments. That's one thing that I do, is when you have attachments with you, or like exorcisms, such sessions like that. I work a lot with people that have exorcism. So that really is one of my main points that I work with along the way. And so I deal with the ones that are the sick, the disabled, the ones that are spiritually diagnosed, that medical diagnosis cannot heal, the ones that have no physical pain. They come to me and I diagnose them spiritually, and we work with them. And so my specialty is specializing in your spiritual diagnosis, and understanding what is it that is spiritually blocking you for you to get to your higher purpose.
Wow, and you could do all this virtually, right? You don't have to be with the person.
Yes, I can do this virtually. The only time that I have in my rituals, the only time that I have to go to their house physically is if I have to close, if I have to remove an attachment that is really attached to their home, then I would have to. My clients have bought me plane tickets for me to go and do it at their house. Other than that, I can do everything mostly by virtual. Yes.
Okay, is this similar to what most of us think of as exorcisms, what we've seen in the movies, the Catholic Church, that kind of thing, or is it different?
When I do my trances, I go my trances, I take you, and the people that come to me, they come to me very just like very not in their state of mind. And when they come to me not in their state of mind, I always tell them to come to my house. If they are far away, those are pretty complicated. But the ones that come to me, I usually tell them that I have to do a trance on them. So I do a trance, I go under, I deal, I negotiate, I mediate with the spirits that are messing with the person. And then I go from there and see what they want, how to undo it, how to detach it, and go from there.
Okay, wow, that is so interesting. And so, how do people get these attachments?
So, like it could be anything. It could be that they're spiritually gifted. That's the main course of what I've noticed so far, is it's that they are spiritually gifted and they have guides that are with them. And because they have guides that are with them, they become like a light, a light at night when all these flies fly to it. Okay. So that's my best vision that I can give you, is like you become like a light that all these flies just fly to, because you have this glowing light around you. And so these attachments attach themselves to you because you're like the light that they're looking for. So that's one thing that is the most common way of when people go out past 9 or 10, they go out, they go to forests, they go fishing, they go hiking and stuff like that. They get it. They get those attachments.
And it's specifically at night because they're a light?
No, it could be during the daytime. It could be if they were just fishing out in like native land. Like I've done native rituals. Like people say I'm Hmong, but I've done native rituals where I have native guides. So they come through and they would help me interpret, like you stepped on our land, you know? You stepped on
Mm.
our land, you hit one of our milestones, and so we would have to make sure that you're not crossing our boundaries. And so they would come through. So it's like, it all depends, Eva, like on different situations. Like it could be that they are stepping on land, or it could be that they have restrictions because they're very spiritually gifted, or it could be that they are just very. And the one thing that it brings out to me is, I've noticed the ones that come to me, they're either very low energy or high energy. So no
Oh.
medium energy. Okay. So no medium
energy. Like if you are just a normie, I call them normies because if normies are like you live your daily 9 to 5, you don't have any worries, you don't have anything and restricting you. You just live a normal life. And that's a normie to me. They don't have attachments as much. Okay. But when you're a high level energy, you're either from a spiritually gifted place and you're high, they attract to that, or you're very low, where you're very depressed, you're very alone, you're very isolated, then they take over you too. So that's why in our community, there's and I don't know if it's this is in other communities too, but like you have people that they don't speak for themselves, and then they become very suicidal. Yes, because
Okay.
of the prince. Yep.
Wow. Okay. So for those that are high energy, and maybe they somehow get attachments to them,
Hmm.
it's is it because okay, so they have this high energy, they're like a glowing light, they attract the energy,
Hmm.
but they also maybe is it because they lack the skills in knowing how to recognize it or how to even communicate to it and to protect themselves?
Yes, that's indeed correct. Like they may not even know they're high energy.
Hmm.
They may not even know they're high energy, and they may not even they live a life as a normie. They live a life just going through their normal processes and thinking that they're just going to, do their 9 to 5 and everything like that. But it's just that their spirit form is really on a higher level. So when you are on a higher level, these attachments attach to you because they want to ground you. They want to suck your energy. It's kind of like an energy vampire, but
Yes, yes.
but from the spirit side. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so for those people listening that are high energy,
Mhm.
or feel like they might have some attachments, what are
Mhm.
some signs for them to kind of figure it out? How will they know?
So it usually starts based on my experience in the last 13 years. It usually starts with you starting to feel like you are very short tempered with things. Everything, it just flicks you off. Um, Nothing makes sense to you anymore, or whatever people say irritates you, or like something in your head is telling you that you're not going on the right path, or that you need to reevaluate your life. Stuff like this. These are symptoms, okay?
Okay.
Symptoms when you start to the high energy people, they start to like would they would feel like they're going great, but something always holds them back and be like, what is going on with me? How come I cannot produce? How come I cannot function anymore like this? Why do I feel like I have to do more? Or like, why did this person that I love so much make me so mad? And you start to question your boundaries in certain ways like that, and like they haven't done anything to you, but you start feeling like the victim. That these are things that you need to start worrying about. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, other than coming to you or before they come to you or even find somebody that they can go to for help, what are some things they can do
Before they start coming to me,
to
or
you or somebody like you to kind
yeah.
of help cleanse that? Yeah.
So me, in my studies of what I know is frankincense. Okay. Frankincense and sage and moonstones can really help.
Mm,
Okay. Can really help them. Um, if they wanna go the clear route where they can do it themselves, if that doesn't help, they need a cleanse for sure. So, like, you can take remedies on your own. You can, in my shamanism way, we use joss paper. We use joss paper. We cut it up a certain way, and then we cleanse ourselves. So I would tell my shaman clients, or my clients that are universal, if they're open to it, to use the joss paper and use that as a remedy. So it's like those are the things I'm aware of. Yes.
okay. And what would you recommend to those people that are depressed? That they have an attachment or maybe they just feel depressed. What can they do?
They need to seek someone with a higher power, higher growth. They cannot they well, my first advice to anybody that when they come to me and they say, I feel lost, I feel like I have no hope, I'm depressed, I can't do this anymore. You need to be around like-minded people that wants to grow. Okay.
Mhm.
And the people that you're around that you're seeking help from, they have to be the ones that will input that feeling in you that make you grow. So it's like you have to take that initiative. And the one thing that's so sad, Eva, about a lot of these clients is they don't believe that they can get out of it. You know, they don't believe that they can get out of that feeling. So they meet these people, these people that can change their life or input something in their life, but they're afraid to grow. Don't be afraid to grow, guys. Like this is my feeling. Don't be afraid to grow. If you're depressed, there is something wrong. You have to seek for help. You have to go to the next level of help. And if someone is inputting positive thoughts into your head, you got to go for it. You just got to.
Okay. So what do you say to those people who are don't necessarily have an attachment of any negative energies or spirits, but they are going through a spiritual awakening? Because going through a spiritual awakening can bring about feeling lost. I'm sorry, feeling a little depressed, or maybe anxiety, or just feeling like not like yourself. What do you say to people like that?
For the ones that are not spiritually awakening,
People that are having a spiritual awakening, but don't know how to process it or what to do about it.
you need to find a dependable mentor. You definitely do. You cannot trust on your instincts only. You have to find, and that's why it's so important to find someone that has gone through what you have gone through. You have to be able to trust someone else that has gone through it and and show you the way. Like, don't be afraid to open up yourself and be vulnerable to the people that are willing to help you because they've gone through it. This is my first advice to all my clients. Don't be afraid of be vulnerable to me because I've been through it. And so like I've been through it, Eva. So I can show you that I was broken. I went to hell and back, but this is how I did it. You have to reach out for those people, the ones that has gone through it. So don't be afraid to when you're spiritually awakening, don't be afraid to reach out to those people that have been broken before because you have to listen just because you said they're broken. No, they're found. They're broken and they're better now. So you got to trust their instincts. You have to walk in the faith, walk in the faith.
Okay. So really finding a mentor or finding people that have been through it, because I know going through spiritual awakenings, people can feel isolated, they can feel alone, they could struggle a lot and maybe suffer more so than they really need to.
Yes. And this journey is a very lonely journey, to be honest. When I went through it, I wish I had someone that wanted to put their life on the line for me as much as I want to put my life on the line for people. Because the reason why I say that, and it's very emotional to me, is because the people that I looked for when I did this, when I was going through it, I looked for someone that would be able to show me that they were as dumb as me or as clueless as me, but they went with it and they believed in something greater, not even themselves anymore, Eva. Not even themselves anymore, but they just believed in something greater. And that was one thing I was missing. That's why I promised myself that if I got better one day, I would be that something for someone. If Even if I didn't believe in myself anymore, I would be that something for someone that they could believe in them and praise that back to them, you know?
Mhm.
And you have to follow that.
Okay. And Kylie, I know you have you told me a little bit about you have a really interesting story of how you came into this. If you're comfortable sharing, do you want to tell people about your journey to where you are today?
Yeah, it was, it's very, it's very I wouldn't even know how to explain it, but at the same time, like the best way I can explain it is I was basically forced into understanding myself, forced into understanding myself. I never knew I had this gift. I used to say it was a curse because it took everything away from me. It took my life away. It took my kids away. It took everything away from me, and I had to go into the mental hospital to admit myself in and make sure I was okay, to make sure that I was really living what I'm supposed to live. And what really stood out for me was my the voices. There was good and bad. There was good and bad in the voices that I heard, the guides, and then we in our culture what we call it zoning. And they would come and be like, "You're not gonna make it. You won't be able to help people." But then the good voices would say, "Kylie, no matter how many voices you hear in your head, you are going to touch people's lives. You cannot give up." And those voices and those visions of me being someone better than what I was kept me going. And like when I was in and out of the mental hospital, every time when I was in the mental hospital and I didn't want to get out, Eva, my guides would come say to me, I don't know if you've ever been in a mental hospital, but in a mental hospital, there's a psychiatrist that comes to you and they ask you every morning at 8 o'clock at round, they ask you, who is the president? What day is it? And what's your name? Okay. And you have to know these things. And I got to the point where I gave up on my life that if I didn't pass it, I told myself, if I don't tell them these 3 questions, they're just gonna keep medicating me and I won't get out of here. So I'd rather stay here and not face the world. And my guide said to me, "You are going to tell them today is May 22nd, 2016, and you're gonna get out. The president is Barack Obama, and you're gonna get out." And I heard it so clear, and they said, "You're not going to give up on your life right now." And when I heard these things, and I said, "I don't know who you are." I said to them, "I don't know who you are. Why are you trying so hard to push me for me to get out of here?" And they said, "You have a purpose that's greater than this." And I said, "I don't have a purpose. I'm in the mental hospital because I don't know who else can help me." And they said, "We know you are. We know you are." And when I finally listened to them and I started repeating what they said to me, that it is May 22nd, 2016, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I got out and I said, and I told them, I'm gonna go find a coach, I'm gonna go find a mentor, I'm gonna go find a shaman master. I'm gonna do everything you guys told me to do. And when I did that, Eva, my life changed. When I finally accepted it, that I was going to act upon it, my life changed. And I said, I used to be homeless, poor, broke, everything. But like I lost all my kids. But as I fought for them, I fought for myself. And like um I finally did what they said in my life. I don't have any regrets since I accepted my gift. Like I don't have any regrets. That's why I'm so about empowering people to understand that you have if if people had the gift of hearing, it is so annoying, Eva. It is
Mhm.
annoying. You would be so annoyed because you hear it all the time, but it is such a blessing to hear them always hounding you to make sure, like, they're just like your parents, hounding you to be better. And I believe that whatever it is that I have hounded me to be who I am today.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. And that definitely took a lot of courage for you to finally listen to those voices, follow the steps, and liberate yourself.
It was hard. It was hard. Like when my psychiatrist asked me, my psychiatrist even said, I'm only used to people that hear voices tell them to do bad things and hurt people. Like her first two questions was, does it tell you to hurt yourself? I said no. And she goes, does it tell you to hurt other people? I said no. It tells me to help people. It tells me to go out there and do this and that. And then she goes, you're just kind of nut, like she just looked at me like it doesn't fall under the symptom of like schizophrenia or anything like that. And she always told me that. And to this day, like I'm so thankful for her. Like she saw the difference in me.
Wow. So did what made you finally give in, accept, surrender, and listen to those voices?
I lost everything. I lost my ex-husband, I lost my kids, I lost my house, I lost everything. And I said, I'm gonna do it for me. I don't care about my past. I don't care about my kids. I don't care about anything else. I'm gonna do it for me. And when I said that, I finally said, I'm gonna live for me. And when I did that, because I said I need to worry about me, when I finally said I'm gonna live for me, and I said, good, live for you. You are a media. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to be just fine. Believe in us. And that voice, I followed it. And whatever that voice was, it led me here. And I don't have no regrets of looking back because I have a great husband right now. He accepts me. He supports me. And I would never have thought that I would got here today.
Mm-hmm. So just to clarify, can you tell us how you ended up in a mental institution?
The first time was when I first ended up was my previous marriage. He admitted me in there with he admitted me in there because I was using substance, okay? I was using substance to really suppress my stuff. So he took the kids away from me. And so I admitted myself to make sure I'm okay. And that was the first time that when I went there. And so that's one thing too. I wanted to differentiate if my illness, if my addiction, if my spiritual awakening was all from the drugs or was it all from me? I wanted to differentiate that. So I kept admitting myself 3 times after. And when I did that, I got released out and they told me that I'm fine. So I was able to fight for my kids and got them all back.
Yeah, and it sounds like you did a lot of struggling. You did suffer a lot and you suffered I mean, I can't really say, but maybe to the point some of it was unnecessary like you said. If other people are struggling and suffering like this to find a mentor to help guide them.
And I wish I had a mentor. I wish I had that person because I was looking for that mentor, that coach, that person that for me to like just believe in and just take me out of this misery. And so that's why the only thing I was missing out of all that was someone that was an expert in what I was going through.
Okay. So, Kylie, you describe yourself as a psychic medium, but you also do shamanism. Can you explain the difference to us or a little bit more about that?
Yes. So in my community of the Hmong community, I am a shaman. I am a shaman. I do rituals to like spiritually diagnose, fix the spirit, bring them back, retrieve the soul, retrieve the spirit. But the one thing that's different from me that I ever since I started this journey is they always told me you're a medium. Your purpose is to connect to the other side. Your purpose is to connect to reading the past life, reading people's spiritual DNA, reading people's past, and reading people's future. You are able to connect from two souls to another. So that's why I work with that.
It sounds like there is a little bit of a conflict between what shamanism means in your culture versus what you actually are as a psychic medium.
Yes. So as a shaman, you do a lot of volunteer and donation work for the community, to bring back their souls, to retrieve souls, to help them cross over, to fix sickness and everything like that. But my specialty, are you freezing on me? No. Okay. So my specialty is not that. My specialty is I have that as a backup, but I'm really all about empowering. I'm all about like making sure that you connect to your past loved ones, making sure that you connect to your higher purpose, making sure I work with, to be honest, I work with alien guides, and people may hate me for this, but like I work with the ETs, something like this. When I talk, I have my own group that I talk about this. People don't relate to me, and I'm still trying to find my place in my community because I don't relate to that in my community because I talk about these things where I deal with the ETs, I deal with the Plitons, I deal with star seeds, I deal with the other universes, and I work with them. And that to me is not shamanism.
Okay.
It's not. And even my guides tell me it's not. Your work is not just shamanism, and you cannot define yourself as a shaman. You have to define yourself as a medium.
Okay, so if you could send a message to the world about aliens, ETs, palladiums, all of that, because I know that's kind of a big topic, somewhat controversial. Some people believe, some people don't.
Exactly.
And sometimes it comes back to different cultures. People are conservative or whatever backgrounds they come from. So, what message would you just tell? What like blanket message could you share with us?
You know, we are not just living what we see. We are not just living what we see. Everything that we are living is made up of so many universes. We are species cloned into species and here on earth, just trying to find our life purpose. One of the things I always believe in and based on my trainings is the human realm is really based on growing our soul. But there's other realms out there that are working every day, civilizing and working every day to make a better civilization out there. We are so behind, Eva, on civilization. We don't have to we don't even worry so much. Like we worry about economy. We worry about the wars. We worry about global warming. We worry about everything like that, but there's this is just one planet. There's so much more that the aliens are working with, like the other species that we're working with are working with to help us. And we just got to receive that message. We got to receive it and we got to work with it. And I believe we are in the works of it.
I believe that too, and I don't even have the connections that you have to other spiritual beings.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's amazing. So, what role do we have as humans? How can we play a bigger role?
To be honest, I think my best advice is how is to be open. We have to be open. We cannot just believe in the social media. We cannot believe in just the internet. We have to believe in the unknown. We have to. And like I think right now, and I totally believe it, that we are just in the movement of having more people start to be awakened. So that's why, like, there's much more healers. There's much more risen shamans. There's much more healers out there that are just making the movement. It's because we are in the movement against something that is trying to stop us from learning the truth.
Mm, that's great to hear you say that because I feel like we're all being guided towards different directions, but inward, but also outward. And
Yeah.
less on that material stuff that you talked about, the economy, the
Mhm,
wars,
mhm,
who's in office this time, but
mhm.
something better, something deeper.
Something deeper. And that is just to distract us, Eva.
Mhm.
It's not even the worry of the world right now. It's just to distract us. And the media is just trying to distract us with everything that is going on. But the real work is behind all that. And only healers that are tuned will know that.
Okay, so in your experience, how do spiritual and intuitive practices complement or intersect with health and wellness in people?
To be honest, it's really important, like with like the things that like and your question is how does it and what? How does it what?
How does it intersect with health and wellness in people? Because I know we are living in a age where chronic illness is very rampant. People are suffering or struggling with anxiety, depression, mental
Mhm.
disorders, chronic illness.
You know, the one thing I would say is the more this world grows into knowing more about the life of what is really out there, the more the chronic illnesses will happen. That's based on what I've learned and based on my experience. It's like the more that we learn about the world, this world is going to feed us with more stuff that is going to really chronically ill us. Okay. So, like, we have to be really mindful and go back to the roots of like the old ages. We have to go rewind back in time, Eva, to like our diets. We have to really go backwards into knowing that, not processed foods are good for us. This and that is not good for us. Even cancer treatments are not good for us. Um, like the pills that they're giving us is not good for us. We have to think like that. We like everything that the world is feeding us is to hinder us. That's what I feel. And so our evolution of growing spiritually is always hit by physically working towards us in medical ways and chemical ways and process ways, you know?
Yeah. So what you're saying is the modern world is taking us further away from who we really are. And that's why chronic illness is growing.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Like you take back 50 years ago and just take back 50 years ago, these stuff, like the more I don't want to say this, but the more the world or the government knows about what's out there, the more they feed us with
Mm.
what we hinder from.
Yeah, I agree. And we don't have to get into the specifics, but this is what I talk about
Yep.
on my channel is filtering
Yeah.
your water, growing your own food, or buying organic food from farmers markets,
Yes.
and how to shop for food and how to heal ourselves again. Really, we're so addicted to fixing something in a bottle, and rather than so you're saying going back to our ancestors and the medicine off the land.
Yes, and Eva, anything organic costs more. So it's
Yeah.
like, anything organic or anything farm raised or anything like that, anything that's better for us costs more. We have to suffer more to get it. We have to do more to get it. And like, why are we always in the truth of like seeking for better, but it hinders us because of our economy, because of the way it's limiting us. It's like we are living in two different worlds, you know? And so we have to start going backwards and living in our past. And the way we used to live 50 years ago, we should live it like that.
Okay. Well, Kylie, we have a few more minutes, and I don't want to take all your time, but just to kind of start to wrap up this interview up. You said a lot of deep things, but I want to give the audience something to take away. So, what can people do to kind of integrate spiritual and intuitive practices into their daily lives, despite if they're a medium, a psychic, but just like your regular everyday, like you call them the normies? What can normies do to kind of like increase their frequency or align their frequency and just kind of listen so that they know the truth and what's best for them?
Get with a coach. Get with a coach that's universal. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, Eva. That's why I'm very universal. All my practices are no religion. I don't just focus on one thing. I You have to get with a universal coach that doesn't have a religion bind down to you, that when you're doing something, it's for whatever God or whatever or whatever, whatever. You have to be all about spiritual growth. You have to be in tune, like, even though I'm a normie, what can I do to better understand my mental health? You know, just because we are a normie, we're living this day-to-day life and we're living everything, doesn't mean that we don't have worries. We don't have depression. We don't have worry, stress. Like, you have to start worrying about your mental and spiritual health. Mental health and spiritual health comes in one degree. Like, it comes line in line. Like, you have to, whatever you're doing for your mental health, your self-care, you have to do it for your soul care. Your
Mm.
soul care. This is what I mean. You have to dig deeper into your soul. You and people say, I'm doing my nails, I'm looking pretty, I'm doing that, I'm doing pedicures, I'm doing facials. But have you ever thought about what your soul feels? You
Mm.
know? It's how your spirit and your soul feels. Like, have you done anything rejuvenating for that? You have to get with the right people that will help your soul grow. And one thing my guides always tell me is, it's so important to grow your soul. Every lifetime that you go through, I can go on and on about this, Eva. Every lifetime that you go through, you want to have a strong soul. You want to have more chances in growing your soul. You are connected to the higher power after that. And so, like I don't want you to forget about your soul care. Like, everybody talks about self care, but take away from this. What I want you to do is take away and take care of your soul care. Okay. So, whether you are a normie, whether you are spiritually awakening, invest in your soul. No one can take your soul away from you.
Yeah, no, that's very powerful. What is one of your favorite ways to do soul care?
My favorite ways is a soul care. Oh my God. I Every day, and I'm always known for early bird. I start my day. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. From 4:30 to 5:30 in the morning, I wake up and I meditate. I talk to my soul. I talk to myself. And people may think that that's crazy, but like, it's not. Like, I talk to myself like, today, Kylie, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go do this, and then you're gonna feel like this. Like, you tell yourself what you do. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna open my store. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna feel like this. And even though this comes up, I'm gonna do this. Like, and even this happens to me, I'm gonna feel like this. And that has helped me in the last 3 years. And
Mm.
like, be honest, it's like you're speaking to your soul that whatever happens, you're not gonna let it bother you. You're gonna and it's it. I'm gonna have a long day. I'm not gonna sleep till 11 p.m. Okay, tomorrow when I wake up, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wake up and I'm be like, I'm not gonna get home until this time. I'm gonna have to do this and that first, and that you speak to your soul. Your soul will listen to you, Eva.
Mm. Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna just to wrap. I want to ask you some rapid fire questions, some fun questions,
Sure.
so people can get a peek into a little bit more about who you are
Mhm.
besides psychic medium.
Okay.
Other than your daily meditation or your morning meditation, what is a non-negotiable routine or ritual that you are committed to?
I have to always cleanse myself like 30 minutes before my rituals. Yeah. I do a lot of rituals for people, and I always have to cleanse my altar. I have an altar, and I always have to cleanse my altar, and I always have to cleanse right before I do it and after I do it. That means that I don't take anybody's energy, and I don't take on anybody's energy after. So I do that.
Mm, okay. And you
So
do
it's
that.
like you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mhm. Yep. Like I don't take any of what they're giving me, and I don't take any of what they're leaving me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what would you say to others who are seeking to cultivate a sense of purpose in their life in terms of building a deeper connection to spirit?
You know, I always say this to all my students and all my clients. You have to listen to your body. Your body.
Hmm.
Your body is your spirit. Your body will tell you how it feels. If it's feeling something off about someone, you got to do it and talk to your spirit. Um, Connecting to your spirit is through listening to the signs of what it gives you about what a person says to you, what a person does to you. It really connects you to your spirit, and from there on, you will start to know yourself. I'm really big on listening to your soul and your spirit. If you start to listen to your body, you will start hearing your spirit, to be honest. You will start feeling and hearing your spirit, like them talking to you and letting you know that this is not good for them or this is what's good for them. And once you start doing that, it will gravitate you towards the people that are meant for you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What is something you are currently really obsessed with that's also filling your heart with joy?
Oh my God. So I started this group um with my one of my partner, with my peer. Her name is Yami Lore. She does Inner Light Mastery. And so Inner Light Mastery is a supportive group like that focuses on um like supporting individuals to with their spiritual growth. And so I'm really focused on helping her grow. That has been really like amazing to me because that I see the difference. It started for over a year and a half now, and I've seen how the people grown, and it just brings joy to my heart. You know, it just brings joy to my heart to see how the people has grown over the year.
Okay. What's an unusual or interesting thing on your bucket list?
I want to be like because of me being so, because I have clients from France, Australia, Laos, Thailand, and here I want to be a global healer.
Wow.
I
Okay.
definitely do. I want to do that. I want to go and visit all my clients in other areas.
Wow. There's a lot of potential for you, Kylie.
I hope so.
So much room to grow. I feel like you're going to, heal the world. There's so much suffering going on and it's not necessary.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so lucky to have been able to connect with you and meet you. It was just by chance. We have
Yeah.
a shared friend, Shua, who introduced me to you
Yeah.
by
I'm so
accident.
honored.
And I'm glad she did.
Yeah, I'm so honored. Thank you so much, Eva.
Yeah. If you like videos like this, share your feedback in the comments. Learn more about Kylie on the different services she offers on her website at kylieyang.com or connect with her to schedule a booking on her Facebook page. There were so many directions and topics to explore with Kylie that we're already working on a part 2 interview. What questions are you curious about? Thanks for watching.